Hi everyone, it's Eric Lalas. Today we're gonna study about another opening as black, and it's the two knights defense where white moves his knight to g5 on his fourth move. It starts with e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to c4, knight to f6, and here white moves his knight to g5, threatening to fork the rook and the queen. Black answers with d5, white takes, and the knight moves to a5, usually chooses to make the opening a gambit. Black can actually recapture the pawn, but I would not suggest it because it's too risky. White might continue with d4, or this knight might take the f7 pawn, which is the fried liver attack. The king should take the knight, and white gives a check, forking the king and the knight. So the only way for the king to defend his knight is to move it to e6, knight to c3, giving more pressure on the knight. So this is considered too difficult for black to defend. The game continues by protecting the other knight. a3, threatening this knight, check, king moves, knight takes rook, knight takes, c6, threatening this knight, but you can't give a double check with the knight and the bishop. King moves, and knight takes rook. Let's go back. d4 here. Black can give a check with his bishop. c3. This bishop has to move back, attacking this knight, but white can just sacrifice this knight by taking this pawn. King takes, check, and again he has to protect the knight. Castle king side, knight to a5, trying to remove this bishop, and black has to do something with this pawn, so he has to protect it with this bishop, and then white moves his rook to e1. And so by taking this pawn, white can give a very strong attack. We'll just continue with knight to a5, attacking the bishop. White can give a check here, or he can try the Murphy variation by moving this pawn to d3. Black answers with h6, attacking the knight. He has to go back. e4, still attacking the knight, and obviously white cannot take this pawn because he'll lose his bishop. Queen to e2, pinning this pawn. Black will just happily take the bishop. Pawn takes, bishop to c5, preparing kingside castle. So check, c6, exchange, bishop to e2, or if he moves his queen to f3, black has strong attack by h6, or rook to b8. If the bishop retreats to a4, black moves his bishop to g4, or he can threaten the knight with h6. Knight moves back, e4, queen to e2, again pinning the pawn. Bishop to d6, preparing to castle. d3, castle kingside, pawn takes, knight takes, bishop to e3, and rook to e8. Let's go back to the position where the bishop is attacking the queen. So if white decides to protect his queen with his knight, black pushes his pawn, white castles, or he can try to move his pawn here, attacking the bishop. Black will just exchange, check with the queen, king to f1, queen to e4, attacking the bishop, and threatening to fork the rook and the king. Queen takes pawn, queen takes bishop. If white decides to protect his queen by moving this pawn, black will be able to attack this diagonal with his queen. Bishop to f5, queen to e2, attacking this pawn. So black saves it by moving his queen here and attacking the bishop. Knight to c3, and then bishop to e7, preparing to castle kingside.